What's good, Graybeards Nation? It's your boy Mo Prophet in the building, and as always, I got my big little bro in the house, T Prophet. I got my man Seth in the building. You guys know him as Sojo, and of course, we got everybody's favorite, my man Keith, KJ the Antithesis. What's good, fellas?
What up, man?
What up?
We switching it up today. We had to drop an off the dome episode. I know Graybeards Nation, you want to know how we spent our week and what we sipping on. We had great weeks, and of course we sipping. But we got to jump right into the news of the day. The NBA is going crazy, and we jumping right to the Brooklyn Nets. James Harden has now formed another big three with KD and Kyrie, and the world has gone bananas. And if y'all thought we weren't going to talk about it, y'all out y'all rabbit-ass minds. That ain't what the Graybeards are about.
Brooklyn, we go hard. We go hard.
We gonna see.
Yeah.
Sojo, let's talk about it, man. Like, our text saying is off wax. We needed to bring it on wax. This is bananas.
Yeah. Like you said, we're going to see. We don't know what the future holds. And I'm not even convinced it's a big three right now. Kyrie Irving he fell off planet Earth, and we know he believes that the Earth is flat, and he fell off it somewhere at some point. And, nobody's heard from this dude. So it could turn into, a KD James Harden thing. But, again, we'll talk about those three and, them trying to coexist, because when you're talking about those types of players, ego is involved. And from my perspective, I look at those three players as good as they all are. KD's the guy. KD's the best player out of those three, right? In my opinion. So, but we haven't really seen KD be a leader either. Now, maybe he learned something in Golden State from Steph Curry and the rest of those guys. Maybe, we'll see. But if not, then he's going to be overtaken by the Kyrie James Harden duo potentially. So, I just the thing that I keep trying to process, right, is you have all of this talent, but how does it work? How do you overcome the ego, and how do you get those three guys to coexist and play together at a championship level? Talent's there. If they do figure it out, I will say this: Steve Nash and the rest of that coaching staff should immediately be put into the Hall of Fame. Immediately.
I think this is a case where Brooklyn woke up a little bit. Because remember before this, they was like, nah, we good with where we at. We got Kyrie, we got KD, we good. We don't need anybody else. It was speculation about Harden early off, and they're like, nah, we good. Kyrie goes off the reservation, so now they start thinking about KD. We got to get KD some help. Well, he gonna start looking at greener pastures elsewhere. Harden still wants to come. We know he's out of shape. We know he's not the Harden where we need him to be yet, because he's gonna have to play his way back into shape. Let's give KD a running mate, because we don't think Kyrie is going to be here. Because you can't have KD go solo without a Kyrie and without a Harden and try to sell him on this Brooklyn dream. They knew they had to get Harden in the mix as fast as they could, because they can't bank on Kyrie anymore. This move was solely about them saving faces in regards to KD.
Man, let's talk about this Graybeard style. We up here being all politically correct, talking about
this is not ESPN radio.
Y'all out here wilding out right now. This is bananas. The layers to this shit that we need to get into. Let's start off before the trade happens. To your point, Kyrie is MIA. That's a whole separate conversation that we can get into, that we've had interesting conversations about with ourselves. But that's one level. But the most important level, particular to this trade, is James Harden assholed himself out of Houston. He ate himself out of Houston. Did y'all watch the games? Did y'all watch the play when he was sitting there? He got trapped on the sidelines. John Wall was coming. He's calling for the ball. And Harden literally threw that shit to Timbuktu to make John Wall go get the ball. And John Wall literally looked at him like, dog, what are you doing? To the point, hold on, I need y'all to process this.
Mm-hmm.
I need y'all to process this.
Mm-hmm.
John Wall and Boogie Cousins were the adults in the room.
Facts.
That's how crazy this got with James Harden.
Talk about it.
Like, let's talk about the layers to this shit. To the point, Daryl Morey, who was begging his ownership for this trade, even went, nah, Brooklyn could have him. Brooklyn can have that 35, 10, and 6 or whatever he's averaging. And now you about to tell me James Harden, who ain't been eating nothing but Kentucky Fried Chicken and eating Big Macs while he's playing, gaining weight. Look, we all play. You know how hard it is to gain weight while you play? He's gaining weight while he's playing. And you signed it up for this. I love all the talent. We have never wavered, even before the trade, that this was going to be a train wreck. And I'm here for it. I got all of my popcorn. And Sojo, I like your point about Steve Nash. I respect it. But remember what wins in the NBA is talent. If they win this, it won't be because of Steve Nash. It's going to be because you have 3 dudes in the top, definitely top 10 in the league on the same team. Kyrie, people will argue maybe top 12, top 15, KD and Harden for sure, that just decided they're going to play together. And we'll jump on the court in a second, but the layers to this story, and the last thing I'll say about it, KJ, before I come to you, because we're going to stay on this for a minute, is that Adam Silver's watching this, because this is turning into an episode of when player empowerment goes wrong.
Hey, the first thing I would like to say is, can we have a moment of silence for all the strippers in Houston? Can we please bow our heads and pour out a little liquor? Because they about to, I mean, look, man, here's what I know. If these chicks is out here stripping to pay their tuition, there's going to be a lot of chicks online at the Bursaw at LIU Brooklyn.
Wow.
I was just about to say, we pouring out liquor for the strippers in Houston. We are popping champagne for those in Manhattan.
Hey, they are out here clearing their student debt in Brooklyn because they about to make some money in Brooklyn. Good job.
That's hilarious.
I'll tell you what.
Hilarious.
Hey, Bart Scott, right? Bart Scott is on the radio in New York, and he said something I got to steal because it was hilarious, but he ain't do it all right. The dude called Kyrie Irving the Kanye West of the NBA.
Oh.
And he is absolutely right. Kyrie Irving is the Kanye West of the NBA, but what he left off is that KD is Jay-Z. This dude is the most talented guy in the room, but he always needs somebody to stand next to. Biggie, R. Kelly, Justin Timberlake, Kanye, shit, even his wife. I mean, now we talking about Westbrook, Harden, Steph, Kyrie. The Nets are basically to watch the throne of the NBA right now.
Watch the throne.
I don't know if I completely agree on the Jay-Z point, but watch the throne is hilarious. They call it.
Watch the throne of the NBA right now.
Here's what I think of. Does KD or the Brooklyn organization know that the situation with Kyrie is so bad right now that KD was the one that said, you have to do everything you can do to get James Harden?
No, before they made the James Harden trade, KD was in Steph Curry's DMs like, hey, big head. It's you.
but let's talk seriously for a minute about how that happened. Remember, everything that everybody heard before the trade was that it was going to be Philly. Everybody was like, it was going to be Philly. And I'm telling you, Daryl Morey got overruled because they looked at Ben Simmons, even though he's not scoring a ton of points, and they were like, we know what we're going to get. James Harden almost accomplished what he wanted to accomplish, and then he went overboard with his nonsense. And then to your point about KD's the most important piece of all of this. He's the best player. He's the dude who's playing right now. Kyrie's flaky. Harden is really flaky recently. And I don't want to discount that dudes could be impacted about what's going on, but the way they're moving suggests that they're also on some nonsense. Let's just call it what it is. But KD has not proven that he wants to lead. And that's going to be the issue with this team. You could be the best player, but he hasn't decided. Like, he does not want to have a spat with Kyrie. And that's the issue.
He's got to be willing to slap somebody because he's the best player in the room. And that's what I mean by watch the throne. It's like, dude, you're the most talented, but you still got to be willing to slap somebody and say, yo, I'm that dude. You got to tell these dudes to fall back. You got to tell Kyrie, yo, I'm that dude. You got to tell James, yo, I'm that dude. And neither one of those dudes are ready to give up the mantle. Which one of those three is willing to be Chris Bosh? Think about it. Which one of those three is willing to be Chris Bosh? The one that's going to wind up being Chris Bosh is going to be Kevin Durant.
No, they're in trouble if that's the case. And it's going to end up having to be Kyrie. Kyrie going to end up having to be Chris Bosh.
That's going to happen.
We know it's not going to happen. But if KD ends up being Bosh, Brooklyn is in trouble. Well, they're in trouble for several different reasons. But if he ends up being the Bosh of the group, no, they're really in trouble.
So here's what we do a lot, right? In the NBA in particular, more than any other sport, you always have to compare somebody. Like, it's MJ or LeBron? Is it Shaq or Wilt? Like, we always do this in the NBA. So what people are going to do right now, real quick, they're going to look at this big three, and they're going to go to LeBron, Wade, and Bosh, and they're going to go to KG, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce. The big difference in that is that the other two big threes had adults in the room. Bosh, LeBron, and Wade were much younger than these guys, but we joke about Heat culture on the podcast. The Heat culture was real. So you had Spoelstra, who was a new coach, but was no nonsense, and everybody kissed the ring in terms of Pat Riley. D. Wade had already won and was a different type of cat. I don't know who the adult in the room is with this big three. And I like Steve Nash and those guys. They put together a really good coaching staff. But D'Antoni was also part of the same coaching staff in Houston organization that let James Harden do everything that he wanted to do. Do you think James Harden is now going to go to New York City, and in particular Brooklyn, and now say I'm turning over a new leaf? I'll wait for it. I'm not going to hold my breath on that.
And look, I mean, when in the Houston thing with D'Antoni being a part of that, I mean, they literally created that system for James Harden, for him, right? And now things don't work out, and James Harden's going all this, he's like, we're not good enough. We don't have the pieces to win. Well, hold on a minute. You just got John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins, and you never even gave it a chance. You turned down a ton of money. Like, there's so much going on, I feel like, behind the scenes right now that it's like, where do you even start? And if then now you look at Brooklyn, and like you said, where does James Harden, so first of all, they gave up Taurean Prince, right? Taurean Prince was one of the best wing defenders in the league, right? You give up Jared Allen. And I know people were, oh my God, like, who cares, right? But those were significant pieces. I mean, Jared Allen was playing at a very high level for that team. And now all of a sudden you have like three dudes with the biggest egos in the world trying to coexist on a team. We talk about this all the time in terms of what it takes for teams to win. And you have to have balance in teams. You have to have people that are able to say, you know what? My individuality is not as important as this group, as this team. And it's not there. Like, it's just surprising to me that an organization like Brooklyn, I mean, I get why you almost have to do it, right? If you can do it, I guess, because it's James Harden. But at the end of the day now, it's like, what's the plan? Like, what we're all basketball minds here. I have thought about this, and there's no plan I can put together that goes, this team is going to figure it out, and they're going to be able to win a championship playing together. This is not, it doesn't exist.
Also, the depth factor of this season is going to play a part too, kind of like the bubble. You're going to be a lot of teams that'll be missing games due to COVID protocols and what's going on. Brooklyn gave up a ton of depth. I was one of the ones saying I like the depth that Brooklyn had. When you lose I think who's going to be a potential all-star in Karis LeVert, Dinwiddie's out for the season. You lose Allen, Taurean Prince. Now you start looking at the bench. You got Landry Shamet,
TLC, man. Shout out that man's name.
TLC, yeah, you got a little chorizo.
But you
call them T-Bars, Left Eye, and Chili.
This is your depth now.
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
So the comfort that you had when it was just KD and Kyrie with the depth you had, if something happened, you was like, I got Karis coming off the bench. Not a big deal. If Dinwiddie would have been healthy, I'm good. I got Jared Allen if DeAndre Jordan don't work out. Now you start looking at TLC and little chorizo, and it's like, depth of this team ain't the same. And depth is going to play a huge part in whoever wins this championship.
Okay, two things. One positive, one negative, right? Okay, one. Let's not forget, though, talent wins in this league. Y'all could say all of that, but talent wins in this league. At any given moment, you're going to have one of the top 10, 12 players in the league on the court. So if I'm Brooklyn, I'm saying, you know what? I got enough to rock with. you got to guard me too. Yeah, I know I can't guard nobody, but you got to guard me too. And talent wins in this league. So if I'm Brooklyn, I truly believe that I have enough talent to win a championship. If I'm Brooklyn, I said. Okay?
No, I got you.
I also think about something else, right? KD and Kyrie were both free agents. They decided to go to Brooklyn. And everybody told me the reason they decided to go to Brooklyn is because they liked what Brooklyn was doing. They liked the pieces Brooklyn had in place. They liked where Brooklyn was going. And then they got there and they systematically and emphatically destroyed everything Brooklyn was doing. They got there and they took every single piece, every single thing Brooklyn had going and threw it out the window, put them in the bathroom. Coach, put them in the bathroom. All the players, put them in the bathroom. Everybody, gone. So right now, they built a whole thing around them that they better, i.e. better win a championship. Because if they don't, woo, there goes your legacy, dogs. And by the way, if you lose to LeBron, you have officially and utterly ended the LeBron versus MJ debate. Because what that dude would have done is he would have beat 2 league MVPs on the exact same team again.
So I want to add to the talent part because I absolutely need talent. In the best league in the world, you need talent, but you need talented pieces. And you need the right pieces to fit together in order to win championships. Let's look at the dream team, right? Arguably the best team that's ever been assembled of the best players in the world. One of
Yeah, it ain't arguably.
Okay.
But go ahead.
Okay. Well, right. All right. We won't even bring that up. You won't see it in our story. But like it's the best team ever, but every single one of those guys were playing for something more than themselves. Right? They're playing for their country at that point. They're playing for each other. Brooklyn Nets in the league right now, none of those dudes will play for each other. None of them. They are playing for each other. They are individuals that care more about themselves and their singularity than they do about me setting aside what I need to do in order for this group to win and be successful. If you don't have that, it's not going to happen. Kyrie Irving, you could argue, people are going to say he's trying to do things, social justice, that he's arguably the most selfish player I've ever seen. James Harden, he's 1A. Again, maybe the most selfish player. So you have 2 of these dudes, and then a dude like KD, you could put KD in there too. Okay, he's number 2 or 1C, right? I mean, there's so many examples along the way in these dudes' career. It's just selfish. And now you've got the most selfish players in the league playing together, and you think it's going to work out? No chance.
And I want to touch on that too, because I think this is probably one of the craziest teams in history where that pendulum could swing so far. You're not shocked if Brooklyn goes to the championship game at all, but you're not shocked that they finish 8th in the East.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. No, you're not.
Stop it, T.
No, you're not. No, you are not shocked if Brooklyn finishes 8th.
Yes, you are.
Because they got to put it together with all the talent that you got. They got to put it together.
You're not going to roll KD, Kyrie, and Harden out there every night and finish 8th in the East.
That's not happening.
Hold on.
I'm a Knicks fan. I want to believe that, but I can't.
No, they got a mess though. We've all talked about the head cases and being selfish and the issues that come with putting those personalities together. That absolutely affects the game with the lack of depth that they now have. That pendulum can swing either way.
T. I'll let y'all jump in, but I'll give you an example just from last year. Y'all keep going. The Clippers, we found out, and I told y'all how dysfunctional they were going to be, and they finished second. They finished second in the West last year, and we still were picking them to go to the title. And they don't have as much talent as this team. You can out talent somebody, and they're not finishing 8th. T.
They're not.
Stop.
I'm not. Hold on. I'm not saying that they're going to finish, but I'm not shocked if they do.
Yes, you will.
I'm not shocked. No, I'm not. I'm not shocked if they finish 8th.
Wow. I'm telling you, you're going to be shocked. As your big brother, I'm telling you, you will be shocked if they finish 8th. Y'all continue.
What's their record right now?
Right now, again.
I'm asking the question. No, what's their record right now? I know 25% of the season don't matter.
I never said don't matter, by the way.
No, yes, you did. You said the first 10 and the last 10.
Listen to what I'm saying. I never said don't matter. I said pay no attention to what happens in the first 10 games.
What's the difference?
That's a big difference. As long as they keep it score, it matters.
Get back to Brooklyn.
Anyway, let's go back. Let's go back.
I'm gonna back tee up a little bit on this, okay? And Mo, goes to your point about the LA Clippers, because you were 100% right on it. If there are so many distractions for a team, you can see a team implode, regardless of talent. Kyrie is such a distraction right now. Like, we really quickly got to the point that we all talk about where now he's forcing his teammates to answer questions repeatedly about him. And credit to his teammates. They're doing a good job actually handling, right? They are. But that's going to end very quickly. When I don't care, again, how talented you are and how good you are, when you have distraction after distraction after distraction throughout an NBA season, which there's high probability that we're going to see from the Brooklyn Nets, implosion is not far away.
Imagine if there was somebody that told you that the reason why they wouldn't do well is implosion. I wonder if there was anyone that said that before. That would be me. I told y'all that. But again, the Brooklyn Nets are an extremely talented team. They're a uniquely talented team. Matter of fact, honestly, with the exception of KD, Harden, and Westbrook, this might be the best big three of all time. I mean, and the reason why I say KD, Kyrie, KD, Harden, and Westbrook is because you have 3 league MVPs on the same team. And right now, this might be the best big three of all time. You want to give me LeBron, Wade, and Bosh? Nah, they're not better than this big three. Sorry. This is the best big three of all time. So they have the talent to do anything. And this team is extremely talented. Where they go depends on how they mesh. But no matter what, they're going to get far. They're going to get to at least if they don't get to the conference finals, this is wow.
The talent's there. I'll tell you what, with the big three in Miami, Chris Bosh doesn't get enough credit, in my opinion. Because Chris Bosh was an all-star that literally said, you know what? Yep, I'm going to do what's best for the team. I'm going to win rings out here. And have we ever – I'm trying to think. One of the big three that comes to mind, the only one in my mind, right, in terms of championships, before that, you got to go back to what? Magic, Worthy, and Kareem?
Boston had a big three.
Kind of. McHale. I mean, I'd perish.
No. Talking about KG, Pierce, and Allen. That's what the whole big three notion started. Look, it's not better. No, they're not as good as them, but we're saying big three.
Right.
But the Bosh thing, and it's a tangent, but the Bosh thing about him stepping back drives me crazy. And I'm with you, Seth. He was a really good player, but it drives me crazy because what people don't understand is that D-Wade and LeBron market corrected Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh was a stat guy on a mediocre team as the man. And he walked in that room with 2 Hall of Famers and he got market corrected. Like Chris Bosh is allowed to have that narrative about, I was told just to shoot threes, to stand in the corner and play defense. When you're next to LeBron and D-Wade, that's exactly what the hell you should be doing. So I feel people talking about Chris Bosh. He put up great numbers. If Chris Bosh would have stayed in Toronto with his own team, we'd be talking about Chris Bosh the way we talk about Karl Malone or Dominique or other stat stuffer guys that have never won anything. Believe it. And Chris Bosh knows that in his heart. He should thank their lucky stars they got him paid.
Can I ask you guys this?
Please.
How do you think that Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and KD can play the way they currently play right now, their style, the whole thing, and coexist and win a championship? Do you think that's possible?
No, I'll get to my point. I know you want to go catch it. It leads me into my point. The answer is no. And I'll give Brooklyn a little bit of positivity because we know that the likelihood is that it will implode. 2 things need to happen. Number one, they still may be a move away, but they got to figure out who's going to play defense. But I will tell you how this could work. And it's with James Harden. It's not even with Kyrie and KD. The question is, does James Harden need to win a championship? And what I mean by that is, remember when the big three in Boston got together? They all needed to win a championship. And we heard about KG's intensity. He was going to will them to win. Everybody else came on board. Those dudes were professionals. LeBron, when they got to Miami, needed to win a championship. He literally went to Miami and was like, I can't leave here without a championship. That's on my legacy, and I will do everything it takes. KD already has 2 chips. Kyrie's got a chip. I don't know that James Harden feels like he needs to win a championship. He likes being a superstar and he likes getting paid. If James Harden decides, even for a year, that he needs to win a championship, it goes back to your point that he will change his game a little bit, and they got a shot to win it because that talent is there. I'm not convinced he will decide that he needs to win a title.
You know what? KD is the one that needs to win the title. You know why? Because he is trying to tell everybody that he's better than LeBron. And he wants it on his resume that not only did I win X amount of championships, I beat LeBron to do it. KD wants to be able to.
KD's going to show up every night, bro. What I'm saying is KD's going to show up every night.
Right, I agree. But KD is the only one that feels that way. Now, but I don't even want to talk about what I think we have not paid enough attention to is MIA Kyrie. We have not given this enough just due.
I mean, hold
on a minute. Hold on. I mean, Seth, you touched on it. I am shocked and amazed at his teammates for keeping this together. Clap for him. Yo, clap for everybody in this Brooklyn locker room for saying, you know what, good for Kyrie. You know what, I'm going to keep that in the locker room. Y'all are amazing because at some point, if it had been the antithesis, matter of fact, ask me how I'd have handled it after game 3. Somebody ask me if I.
Go ahead, T.
So, KJ, how do you feel about the current state of the Brooklyn Nets and Kyrie Irving?
Let me tell you something about Kyrie Irving. We are out here busting our hump trying to win games. We out here playing shorthanded and doing everything we can. We all saw what happened at the Capitol. But you know what we did? We came to work. I love Kyrie. He's my brother. But at some point, he either got to, 1, show up to work, or 2, tell us why. Because I cannot do this anymore. Do not ask me no more questions about Kyrie. If you want to know about Kyrie, you ask Kyrie. Oh, wait a second. He ain't talking, so you can't ask Kyrie. So don't ask me. Make up whatever story y'all want and write it.
So KJ, Kyrie Irving made the comments that he didn't feel like playing. The events of the Capitol, messed with his psyche a little bit. He needed some time for himself. And how do you feel about him just stepping away from the team and taking some time for himself to gather his thoughts and try to attempt to get back in basketball mode?
I think the owners need to take some time for themselves when it's time to write his check. How about that? How about that? At this point, you take some time for yourself because no, you do not put ink to paper and sign that man's check if that man ain't doing what's in his contract.
KJ, just one more question. I'm sorry, just one more question, KJ. So he is one of the leaders of the team and one of the highest paid players. Doesn't that dictate he gets a little bit of leeway, being one of the stars of the team, one of the stars of the league, and one of the reasons that Brooklyn is relevant again?
First of all, you called him a leader. We can't call him that. You called him a star of the team. You can't call him that. You can't be a star if you're not on the floor. And you
must no longer be a player on the team. You went straight back to the antithesis. I think this interview's over because that means you are back to being the antithesis because that interview ended.
How big? How much is my contract? How much? Guaranteed contract? How much?
I hope that was not TLC.
And in turn,
get away with that.
And we're talking about leadership too. And one of the things I don't think's talked enough about with Kyrie Irving is he's a vice president of the NBPA. Now he's one of 7. I mean, so he's not the only vice president. I want to make that clear. But he is in a very high level leadership role in the NBPA, and you're just absent, non-existent. So one of the things that I would probably say to Kyrie is this, you feel passionate about what's going on. And I think some of that has to go back to lack of leadership, right? The lack of leadership in our country, the lack of leadership that we're seeing in organizations during a pandemic that's affecting everybody. Well, let me remind you, you are a leader, or at least you're in a leadership position. So if you can't be there for the people that need you right now, then maybe you need to step away and let people know that that's going to happen.
I mean, if I'm Kyrie, I'm saying I was there for the people that need me. I was there at my sister's 30th birthday party. What are you talking about? My sister needs me. I was there. What do you mean? How can you say I wasn't there for the people that need me?
All right. Hey, well, if you're going to do that, at least wear a mask, Kyrie. Do us that thing. Do us that favor.
Yo, have we seen somebody of Kyrie's level that it feels like he just doesn't want to play basketball anymore it feels like he doesn't want to play anymore. Like he's making. I just feel like he's like, I'm kind of done. Like he's over basketball. He wants to do something else. I don't know, social injustice, or I'm not really sure what vein he wants to go in. But I don't think it's basketball. Have we seen a player of this caliber start to feel that disinterested in playing basketball?
See, I don't think he doesn't want to play. T. I think he's read one too many chapters in books, because I don't know if he's read the full books. Like he's read the chapters in books that are like, stand up for what you believe in. Okay, check. Go against the man. Check. Do it under your own terms. Check. He didn't read the part where it says, have a plan before you do it. And he didn't read the after that says, bring other people along with you. So he read too many chapters in certain books. He's got like, he's probably, look, he makes a lot of money. I think his bookcase is elaborate.
Mo, so he didn't PDCA?
PDCA?
Plan, do, check, adjust? I'm sorry, man.
What the hell in the Kyrie Irving did you just say?
It's a business term.
Oh, man.
Plan, you do, you check, adjust.
Are you reading the same chapters that he read?
No, I read the Cliff Notes. I read a little bit more than he read. I read the Cliff Notes.
Yeah,
that man felt that what he said was so important. He had to interrupt.
It was.
He was like, no, Mo, chill.
That's right.
He ain't PDCA.
He stopped a perfectly good take where he thought he was dropping the mic, though. Hold on, big bro. Hold up, bro. He didn't PDCA.
I thought, listen, I gotta be honest. I thought it was one of those race things that I was just not privy to. I was like, I don't know.
It's a black thing?
Yeah, I thought it was a black thing. I'm like, I don't know what PDCA is. It's gotta be. I'm out of the know on this one.
Graybeard Nation.